What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today, I'm going to be doing a video that has been heavily requested, but I have heavily kept back for the past few months. This video is me talking about my personal favorite roller coaster themes from all across the globe. A lot of roller coasters have barely any theming and a phenomenal layout. But what does theming do? It tells a story. It turns a simple roller coaster into a fairy tale, and makes it so much more interesting than it already was before. Now there are people out there that can't go without theming. If they ride a coaster without theming, it completely ruins the ride. I am not one of those people, but over the past few years, I have grown a love for roller coaster theming. So today, I want to dedicate this video to my all-time favorite roller coaster themes from current and defunct rides. These are rides all across the world I decided that make the best out of their theming, and in simple terms, tell a story for both the audience and the rider. So today, we are going to go into my all-time favorite roller coaster themes. Before I continue the video, I just want to say that only a fifth of my viewers are actually subscribed to my channel, so if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and catch up on all of my content. Without further ado, let's get to my first coaster that has incredible theming.
Lucky? Should I or shouldn't I? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Ever wonder why you're not supposed to step on a mantis?
Yeah, you better say your prayers.
On May 11th, you'll find out.
Though still standing and operating as Rougarou, Cedar Point used to have this coaster as Mantis, a B&M stand-up coaster themed to, well, one of the most elaborate stories I've ever heard for a roller coaster. Now let me just say, this ride definitely is the least out of the rides I want to talk about, but I wanted to put this ride as a spot because of how absurd the story is. The promotional video, which I will leave into the description, goes into a lot more detail, but for the time I have and in simple terms, a bunch of mantis eat each other and form one gigantic mantis that roams around Cedar Point and violently rips apart their prey. So in even more simple terms, a giant bug that brutally murders humans. I mean, that's one of the scariest themes I've ever heard right there, if I've ever heard one. It honestly reminds me a lot of Merlin themes because Merlin could get very creepy, and I will be mentioning them later. But talking about Cedar Point, I really can't believe that they went this dark for a theme. I absolutely loved this theme, and even though there wasn't any on-ride theming, I do have to commemorate the Cedar Fair team for this incredible marketing. Now, a big trend you will see for the rest of this video is that I love when a theme is immersive, when it really immerses guests into the theme. I think Cheetah Hunt is one of those rides that does a perfect job at this. This is another coaster I have personally ridden, and this is at Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa, Florida, and let me just say, I absolutely love the interaction of this ride. Now, the ride is themed to being a cheetah hunting its prey, and I think it does a perfect job at portraying that. This ride goes in and out of the terrain a bunch, and it also goes over and under animal enclosures, which really makes you feel like one of the animals hunting another. It really gives you a great feeling of being out in the safari, and it gives a really good idea of being a cheetah. This ride is very immersive, and I love the interaction between the rockwork, the animals, the terrain, and you. In my personal opinion, no one does theming better than Merlin. I love Merlin parks and their dark, twisted sense of theming. And one of their best themed rides in my personal opinion is the Swarm at Thorpe Park near London, England. Though not one of the darkest themes that they have came out with, let me just say that the Swarm has incredible theming. It centers around a post-apocalyptic world where your chances for survival are much lower. I mean, even the station has incredible theming without a roof, and the B&M Wing Coaster has a lot of near misses, including billboards and signs of post-apocalyptic life. These include abandoned buildings and much graffiti. This is an incredible ride, and let me say, it's very high on my bucket list. Even though it doesn't look like the strongest, it definitely looks like one of the best themed wing coasters on the planet. I did want to limit the rides to one ride per park, but this will not be the last Merlin ride on this list. Bakken Amusement Park is the world's oldest amusement park, so you wouldn't expect such an insane thrill to be at this place, but look no further than Tornado, the Intamin extreme spinner that has made its way at this place. Now, let's talk about immersion. Cheetah Hunt makes you feel like a cheetah, Swarm makes you feel like you're flying through a post-apocalyptic world, and Tornado, well, there are a lot of weather-themed rides out there, but out of all of those, I think this does the best job at portraying you being sucked into a literal tornado. And why do I say that? Well, the ride itself is absolutely insane looking. It has some of the most intense elements I have ever seen on a roller coaster, including that first drop, and with the spinning factor included, this has got to be one heck of a ride. Of course, I don't know what it's like to be sucked into a spinning tornado, but at the same time, I do have to say this is probably similar. With all the theming that goes in and out of buildings as well, it does a really good job at portraying you being sucked through a tornado while buildings are flying past you. This ride looks like pure chaos, and the fact that they put this ride through a building instead of just on a flat sheet of land makes it so much better. It is a much better ride because of that, and in my opinion, it has to be one of the best spinning coasters on Earth by the looks of it. Yes, this was an obvious spot. This is the Schwerteskarnen at Hansa Park in Germany, and probably one of the best overall ride experiences on Earth. Instead of just a normal roller coaster, this is the true full package, with theming, surprises, and much more. This ride is themed after a real haunted castle, and let me just say, I think it does a really good job at portraying a cursed haunted castle. The possessed energy of this ride makes it look absolutely incredible, and the surprises while on the ride make it even better. Now, I will be spoiling surprises, so if you don't want to be spoiled, just go to the next coaster. This ride has 3 very notable surprises. One of them is a random row selector before you even get on the ride. After the pre-show, they take you into random rooms and you have no clue on telling what row you will be in. It could be the front, it could be the back, and it could be the middle. Who knows? The second surprise is my current favorite. On the lift hill, it actually drops you down the lift hill like you're rolling back, but it catches you and takes you back up. This really gives the feeling of a haunted cursed castle that is possessed by an extra being. Now, the overall ride looks insane as it is, but at the same time, there is a third surprise behind the brake run. There is a secret inversion at the end of the ride, so kids that want to ride a ride that doesn't go upside down will be pleasantly surprised, or freaked out, whatever. But anyway, with the surprises of this ride and the overall theming, I absolutely cannot get enough of the theme of this ride. F.L.Y at Phantasialand in Germany looks like one of the best overall themed rides on Earth. It has a great steampunk theme surrounding the concept of flight in general, and let me just say, when it comes to Phantasialand as a whole, the rides there are so much themed, it's absolutely incredible. In fact, I would put the theming of these rides over Disney theming. That's how much I love this place. Let me just say that this park probably has one of the most beautiful man-made landscapes of all time, especially this area with F.L.Y. I mean, talking about the overall surroundings of this ride, it looks incredible. The buildings have immense detail, the queue is multiple levels, and there is a hotel hidden within the premise. I seriously have no clue how Phantasialand put all of this theming and all of this detail in. In my personal opinion, it looks like it could have taken so long to look at every single detail and put it in this ride. They really incorporated a lot though. And let me just say that no park in the States could even come close to comparing with a ride like this. Not even Disney or Universal. I mean, the theming on this thing absolutely dumbfounds me. And the only reason I have the final ride over it is just because of the overall concept. I think this ride probably has the best theming out of any ride, but the next ride I want to talk about has the best theme out of any ride. And let me tell you what I'm talking about.
Will you ever be the same again once you have ridden on the most awesome ride of modern times?
Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster.
Let's talk about Oblivion at Alton Towers. The original concept of a B&M dive probably has one of the best themes ever incorporated with it. Out of all the coaster themes in the world that I know of, this is probably my favorite concept. I love this theme so much. Now, the B&M dive coaster's main one trick is that it hangs you over the drop before it drops you. Now, there are a lot of coasters that do this nowadays. It's Griffin, SheiKra, Yukon Striker, Valkyria, Valraven. You have a coaster everywhere. And let me just say that these rides do hold a purpose at their park. But no park has themed a dive coaster or any coaster better than Oblivion. And let me tell you why. The ride is centered around the Master of Darkness. He is featured in a lot of Q videos and is the main character or mascot for this ride. He is a very interesting character with a good and evil side. He introduces you to the ride and explains how you didn't choose to be here, but it was because of manipulation that you're here. The ride is centered around a pitch black tunnel, a bottomless pit if you will, of infinite darkness, otherwise known as the Void or Oblivion. And as you know, the first drop leads you into a pitch black tunnel. While obviously not bottomless, the ride definitely does portray that bottomless, mysterious, ominous feeling when you're dropping down. You cannot see anything when you're at the bottom of that tunnel, and it is a long tunnel alright. The theming incorporated with this is absolutely genius, and even spectators can get within the fun. While listening to the incredible soundtrack, they get to see guests dropping to their doom into Oblivion. This ride at Alton Towers is a classic, and is one of the best advertising campaigns of all time. I love the theming here, and I think Alton Towers may be the best themed park of all time, right beside Phantasialand. But anyway, that is my video. We are running very long on this video. The duration is well over 12 minutes. So let me just say that I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't already. And as you know, we are getting very close to 6,000 subscribers. And at 6,000, I will be announcing a brand new series that I've been working and brainstorming on for the past few months. Well anyway, this is Cedar Flags. Let me know what your favorite coaster theme is in the comments below, and I will see you all later.